Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you today? Hopefully quite well. Today's video is going to be a tag video. So I wanted to do a new bookish tag video. I just did the fall favorites tag, which was mostly geared toward the beauty side of the channel, but I haven't done a book tag one in a while. So I spent the other night just kind of looking around, seeing what kind of tags were out there, and I picked out 3 that I wanted to do in the next coming months or so. The first one that I'm going to do is the Reader's Problems tag, and I saw this on Oh It's Mandy's page. So she did not tag me, but she's the one who I found the tag video on, so I will leave a link below to her tag video that she did. So I watched her video and kind of looked over a few of the questions and decided I would give it a shot. The other ones that I have is a Get to Know Me but a booktube edition, and then also a reading habits tag. I wasn't sure which one to do next, so if you guys have any preference, please leave in the comments below which tag video you would like to see me do next. Unless I would happen to get tagged for something, then I would do that one first, of course. But that is what today's video is going to be, and I will be tagging some of you at the end as well, so be sure to check the description box. All of the questions will be there. I really have no idea my answers yet, so I don't know. I'm sure I'll probably mention books along the way, but if anything I talk about, I'll leave linked below as well. So let's just get into the questions. Okay, so the first question is, you have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? Honestly, because I run a book blog, everything that I read pretty much is scheduled for me, so I know when my reviews have to run on Chicklet Plus, so that is how I decide which books I read next. Sometimes I do feel like I have 20,000 books in my reading list. Not gonna lie, I feel that way. Question 2 is, you're halfway through a book and you're just not feeling it. Do you keep reading or do you give up on it? I really can't stop reading a book. That's really hard for me to do. I really can't think of the last time that I just cold turkey dropped a book and was like, no, I don't care how this one ends. But kind of what I do if I'm really not enjoying a book is I will speed read through it. I realized I could speed read and still comprehend a book back in grade school, I think, is when I realized this talent of mine. Kind of interesting. Came in handy a lot for my friends if they would be doing a reading essay and they would ask me for help, and I would literally speed read and then be able to answer their questions for them. It was kind of crazy, but that's honestly what I do. Is I'll just speed read through something, and it's kind of funny when I'm reading an actual book and my husband will know I don't like it because I'm just flipping the pages, and he's like, are you speed reading? I'm like, yes. 3 is, you're approaching the end of the year and you're so close yet so far from finishing your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to finish it, and how do you do it? I have never done a Goodreads reading challenge. I usually have a personal goal to read and review at least 100 books within the year, and I'm usually well over that. So that's pretty much my goal for myself. I keep a list of all the books that I review on Chicklet Plus. I have a huge spreadsheet of all of the books that I myself have read and reviewed and the date that I review them, and then that way it helps me keep track of how many books that I'm reading within the year. I have never taken the Goodreads reading challenge though. I guess I don't even really know how you do it. To be really, I'll be really honest, I don't understand Goodreads, and I pretty much tend to avoid it. I know that authors appreciate reviews going on there, so I will always go on there and say what I'm reading, and I will leave the review on the book. Right when I put the review on Amazon, I will immediately go over to Goodreads and put it on there, but other than that, I don't really go on it. I think that's more geared toward the author side of me. It is horrifying to see some of the things that are being said on Goodreads, and it's really funny because Amazon owns Goodreads. On Amazon, it's so hard for anybody to leave a review. I think I've said this before on my channel. My mom cannot review my books. So for some reason, my best friend cannot review my books on Amazon. My husband would not be able to review my books on Amazon. And now it's even getting to the point where author friends are not being able to review for each other because Amazon is saying no, that's an inappropriate review. You can't review for the people you know, which is, I've said it before, it's just absolutely crazy. This is why we make connections in the world, is so we can have people review for us, and Amazon's like, no. But anybody and everybody can review on Goodreads and can write the most horrible thing. Like, I've seen death threats on Goodreads. I've seen the most derogatory names being called about people's personal character, not the characters in their books. And Goodreads does nothing about it. And I'm just like, no. So I tend to stay off. I don't look at the reviews for my books on Goodreads. I don't participate in any discussions because I just think it's a crazy place. I don't like it at all. 4 is the covers of a series do not match. How do you cope? Ugh. That, honestly, that really bothers me. And I don't know if it bothered me when I first started out as much as it does, like, since I've been getting into the marketing side more these past few years and understanding what it means to match covers to series, it really does bother me now when they don't. I mean, there's very small ways that you can have your covers match within the series, whether it's your name placement is the same, it's the same font, it's the same color of font. I mean, just like little pieces that you can make it so people will understand that these books are tied together. I don't cope well, to answer the question. Number 5 is everyone and their mother loves a book that you didn't love. Who do you bond with over your feelings? I don't know. Let me think. That one's kind of funny. It is really frustrating as a reader and a reviewer when I didn't love a book and I go on Amazon and there's like 10 plus positive reviews and I'm the only one that's going to be negative and I have to be that first negative review. I hate that the most. I really do. But then it makes me doubt myself. It makes me go back and think about the book again. Like, okay, did I miss something? I'm reading everyone else's reviews. Like, okay, they loved that. That's not what I loved. Or they loved that. I didn't see that in there. It really does make me second guess myself. But I've been reviewing for so many years now. I understand the concept that we're all not going to like the same thing. Different things are going to make different people happy. So I try not to get too caught up in that anymore. Who do I bond with over my feelings? My dog. I mean, I don't have really anyone personally that I talk to about books. I mean, sometimes I'll talk to my husband or my mom or in passing a friend, but I don't really have like book lovers in my life that I feel like I would bond with them over, but usually I can find someone in my big virtual world that we're like, we're the only two that didn't like that, aren't we? Yep. Number 6 is you're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. What do you do? Okay, this has happened to me before. I mean, please comment below and let me know if you've started crying in public over a book, because I sure have. I've cried when I'm out walking my dog, listening to audiobooks. I've cried in my house, like just sitting next to my husband on the couch, and next thing we know, I'm crying, and he's like, "What happened? What? How? Who? What?" I do recall crying like on public transportation, on a bus one time in high school. I was reading a book, and then everyone looked at me like I was the weird girl. Yeah, I've definitely cried in public. Books make me cry. They make me cry. How do I cope? I do cry quietly and not draw attention to myself and do the whole classic like hold your finger under your eye to catch your tears so they don't stream down your face. I do that. That's how I cope. Okay, this next one is a long one. A sequel to a book that you love just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the original book. What do you do? Do you reread the first book? Do you skip the sequel? Do you just try to read stuff on Goodreads to catch up? Do you cry in frustration? That's the question. I truly hate when that happens to me, when I feel like I love a book so much, but then a sequel is going to come out and I am trying to remember the first book and I can't remember it, because it makes me feel like, did I really love it that much? Because how do you forget a book that you love so much? So then I start to like doubt myself of how much did I really love that book, and will the sequel be worth it now? Typically what I do, because I review everything, is if that were to happen to me, I will go back and read my original review to see what I thought, see what my thoughts are, and that usually tends to help me out. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would do. Number 8 is you do not want anyone, and I mean anyone, to borrow your books. How do you say no when someone asks you? That's tough, because I don't think I've ever said no to anyone borrowing my books, and I'm trying to think of why I would say that. And I'm someone who, I have an overflowing bookshelf. All of my books do not fit on my bookshelf. So usually, like, if I have different people over, I'm like, look at my bookshelf. Would you like to pick a book out? Like, here's your take-home prize for coming to my house. Please take a book. And I gift books a lot for like birthdays and holidays and things like that. So I don't know why I'd ever tell anyone I wouldn't want them to borrow a book. I truly don't think there's one book in my collection that I'm like, no one can touch this. Because I like to spread the joy of reading. That's fun for me. 9 is you have reading ADD. You've picked up and put down at least 5 books in the month. How do you get over your reading slump? I don't have time to have reading slumps. I can't do that. Being a reviewer and having such a set schedule, a lot of times my schedule is so busy. I'm reviewing books only 2 to 3 days prior to when I'm needing to review them. So I don't have time to struggle with reading ADD. I just know that I have a deadline and I made a commitment to an author, so I have to get that book done when I said that I was going to get it done. So my schedule dictates me to not have reading ADD. Number 10 is there are so many good books coming out that you want to read. How do you choose which ones you want to buy? And that's really tough for me because a lot of the books that I get are sent to me either from authors or publishers or other review companies like blog tours and things like that. So that is how I get the majority of my books. I will buy books to support an author. Like a lot of times if an author that I'm close with comes out with a new book, I'll buy the book on the day of release just in like support, even if I'm not reviewing the book or I haven't been asked to review the book. If just someone that I know, personally in my virtual world and I'm just trying to support them, I will buy their books. There's, a few big name authors that I want their books in my collection. And that's like Emily Giffin and Sophie Kinsella I'm looking at my bookshelf right now, and those are like some of my hardcovers that I have like prominently displayed is from them. But again, I'm super lucky to be able to receive their books from their publishers. So I love my job. Number 11 is after you buy these new books, how long do they sit on the shelf before you actually review them? I always have my review schedule that tells me what I need to read next, when I need to read books. And then I have a fun book collection, and that is books that have either been sent, but authors are like, I just want to send you my book. You don't have to review it. You don't need to. There's no time frame, things like that. Or books that I buy because I wanted to buy them, or books that friends give me that they think that I want to read. So I always have that TBR pile too. And sometimes I do a really good job of the review quests that come in to Chick Lit Plus. I do a really good job to be like, hey, review team, how about you guys review these? And I give myself like little breaks here and there so I can keep up with that TBR. Times like right now, I can't refuse anything, and my reading list and my reading schedule, I look at it and I'm getting really overwhelmed because I'm like, I have taken on too many books again. This is happening. I need to cut back. But that's kind of how it's just really when I have the little breaks in my schedule, because I'm usually always reading a book. I mean, I'm never not reading a book. I'm usually, editing or proofreading or reading some sort of manuscript or writing my own book. And then if I'm trying to read too much at once, that's so hard for me. It's hard to keep the books separate, and then it's hard to remember them because I'll remember a book I'm reading, but then at the same time, my thoughts are intermingling with a book that I was proofreading, and then I'm getting confused. So I try to keep the amount I'm reading at one time to a minimum if I can. Okay, so that is the entire tag video. It was 11 questions, I believe. So that was the reader's problems book tag video. Again, check the description box below because I will be tagging some of you as well. If you guys can give me some feedback if you think I should do the Get to Know You BookTube edition or the Reading Habits tag video next, please just comment below and let me know, because I really don't know what I'm going to do for the next tag video. It probably won't be till next month because my October filming schedule is now full, but it'll probably be sometime in November that I will get that up. P6 Years is still going on. I'll leave a link to that below. I do not know I think we're going to do a book giveaway next. At the time that I'm filming, I do not have that ready to go yet. I don't think it'll start till next week, and this video will be up this weekend. But go ahead, like the Chick Lit Plus Facebook page, because whatever it is we do next, it will be announced, of course, on Instagram as well, as where I post everything first, and that is March Books Beauty. So you can go ahead and follow me over there as well to stay tuned for what the next big giveaway will be. If you like the tag videos and book videos, please give this video a thumbs up so I know. Please subscribe before you go, and I will just see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys.